There was a huge patent dispute. There was counterclaims on every side. There was cases pending in Texas, in Delaware, the Central District of California. I said, if you're not going to get back to us, I'm going to take a flight home because I'm not going to wait here all day. And then he looked at me. His face turned beet red. I can't believe that we flew all the way over here and we have all these people. We have the Worldwide General Counsel, we have me, we have the head of licensing, we have all of our outside counsel, and Cisco sends you! The Indian.
他们感冒了，2个人。Bye, sweetie. Bye. Bye, Bob.
I remember there was a piece in, I think it was Business Week or The Economist, maybe 5 or 10 years back, and it was analyzing successful women. They're from all different backgrounds. The only common thread was the husband didn't work. Now, what that didn't mean that he didn't work. What it meant was the husband worked full-time supporting the wife's career. It's pretty amazing what Mallun's been able to pull off with myself working full-time through 4 startups. What Mallun does is manage the intellectual property vision for the largest hardware technology company in the world.
Well, it's a critical role. Innovation is really the lifeblood of our industry, and protecting the innovative efforts that are done here and the fruits of that innovation is really a key assignment of the legal department.
The only true all-nighter I ever pulled was with Cisco, and actually was one of the early matters that I worked on when I was here. It was on a 15-hour conference call with China. No one wanted to be the one to get off the phone.
I ended up participating in many meetings where she was going back and forth in Mandarin discussing fairly sophisticated intellectual property concepts.
Hey, Romaine.
There's a myriad of challenges, whether it's just generally being confident you can get to the pinnacle of the field when numbers suggest it may not work out that way. Even being a successful woman in a field dominated by men, the list goes on and on. I don't think she was ever blind to any of the challenges that faced her, but very cognizant of what it would take to continue to achieve the success that she wanted to achieve.
When I was in kindergarten, the school decided that I should skip first grade. So I was the smallest person by a head in every class until I graduated from high school. After college, I took a year off to actually travel by myself and then came home and started law school. Boalt is just an exciting place to be, whether you're interested in a particular area of law and technology. I was also one of the early members of the Asian Law Journal.
The relationships that we made at Boalt were probably the tightest and closest ones we have.
When you're a brand new attorney and you really don't know much and you start a clerkship, it's a little bit daunting.
There are deadlines they have to meet that are almost impossible.
As I clerked for him, I realized the IP cases and the patent cases in particular were by far the most interesting.
The cases are complicated and require a lot of work, but she seemed to enjoy the challenge. I mean, the harder it was, the more she was anxious to do it.
We file between 600 to 1,000 patents a year for US patents, and then about 25% of those we also file overseas. So currently we have about 4,000 issued patents and another 5,000 pending. The last time there was a substantial overhaul of the patent laws was in the 50s. And so if you think about how technology was in the 50s versus today, it's very different. Things were much more manual, for instance, typewriters versus laptops. So typewriters did one thing. The system that is in place today does not really address computers, laptops, routers, and switches, which have thousands of different components.
And Mallun has worked really closely with other companies to help develop consensus positions on patent reform.
She is the person that the people on Capitol Hill, the members of Congress, the members of the United States Senate, she is the person that they want to hear.
I had a reporter who contacted me, and the reporter said, well, one, you're young, but also how many other women are there in this position? And that's the first time I really started to think about it. From that, those other women and I came together and formed a group called CHIPS. What we are focused on is promoting the advancement and retention of women in the patent and IP field. You have to do that pre-vetting, gaining that consensus ahead of time. And so when you get on the call, everyone says, oh yeah, agreed, great. When people talk about work-life balance, I always laugh because I don't think there's work-life balance. I think there's work-life integration. Your life and your work, they sort of are seamless, and at least for me, that works. I have a great life now. I'm fortunate to have an extremely supportive husband, 2 wonderful kids, and a very rewarding job. If you think about and analyze things too much, there's never the right time to do anything. So what I've always done is you just jump in and you do it.